If you're going to buy a house in Puerto Rico, you need to know this stuff. I've done hundreds of real estate investment deals on the island of Puerto Rico, and I've invested millions and millions of dollars here. And this is absolutely the best advice that I can give to anyone who's looking to buy a property here on the island. And if you skip this video, there's a good chance that you're going to overpay, get stuck, or even worse, buy something that you really don't own. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make here has nothing to do with price. Puerto Rico is part of the United States of America, but real estate here doesn't work like it does on the mainland. We've got the same flag, we use the same dollar, but it's very different rules, very different timelines, and wildly different expectations. When I first came to the island almost 8 years ago, wow, time flies when you're having fun, and it's been a lot of fun. I tried to apply the mainland logic. I thought that I could bring systems that had worked for me, and I'd been doing real estate investing my whole entire life. At that point, I'd bought and sold thousands of properties. So we knew how to do value add real estate investing. And we figured that we could whip a crew up into shape and get them to show up and finish a project quickly. And guys, the island nearly killed me for it. So if you're watching this thinking that you know how to get things done in a New York minute, and you're going to come to this island and it's going to be easy, man, I would just advise you, don't come. So if you're expecting mainland speed, mainland logic, and mainland systems, you're going to be frustrated. Deals take longer here, period, full stop. Things that might close in 30 days on the mainland could take 60 or 90 days, or even longer on the island. We're just finishing a flip in Aguadilla. We bought it at the foreclosure sale. Guys, we got an amazing price. And we finally finished the renovation. After months and months, we had to fire 3 contractors in order to get it done. I had to bring in Lewis, who's my guy, my go-to guy. I should have probably given him the job at the start. And in fact, he got pissed off at me that I didn't. But thank the Lord for Lewis. He came in at the end of the day and he cleaned up the other contractor's mess. And we now have a finished product. And once we got the finished product, we sold it fairly quickly. And we're going to make a bunch of money. But I think our timelines were a little bit skewed to start. We thought that we could renovate it and sell it in about 6 to 9 months. It's going to actually end up taking us from start to finish 9 months or so. So the longer part of the expectation is what we should have set as the expectation. What I'm telling you, that doesn't mean when you find yourself in these positions that something is wrong, when they're taking longer, when things cost a little bit more money. That doesn't mean something's wrong. That just means, welcome to Puerto Rico. This is something that is pretty unique to the island of Puerto Rico that I want to warn you about now, and that is this. Not every property on the island of Puerto Rico has a clean and marketable title. A lot of these houses, we call them zombie houses, that are all over the island of Puerto Rico, will have multiple heirs. In fact, lots and lots of things on this island have multiple heirs. Some properties are owned by dead people, and these people have been dead for decades. And so you think that they're abandoned and that nobody really owns them, but there's a long lost cousin somewhere and you've got to find them. And that, again, that's a welcome to Puerto Rico moment. You don't experience this on the mainland nearly as often as you deal with it here on the island of Puerto Rico. Sometimes you can buy a house here on the island of Puerto Rico, and it can be up in the mountains, or it could be on the ocean. Either way, there are houses out there that trade, but you don't actually own the dirt underneath them. So you own the building. If the building gets knocked down because a hurricane comes, you don't have the right to rebuild. You won't get permits to be able to rebuild. But while the building is still structurally sound and everything works, you can enjoy it. You can live there. You can rent it. You just don't have a clear and marketable title. And you'll think that something's a bargain. When you dig into it and you find that you don't own the dirt underneath it, that's a big problem. And again, welcome to Puerto Rico. A few months back, we had another house in Aguadilla under contract, and we thought it was an exceptional price. It was right in the Pueblo. It was walking distance to the ocean. There were great restaurants around it. We were getting it, in theory, at a great price point. Here's the problem. Remember I talked about you can have multiple heirs? You have to have everybody in agreement. And we didn't get a clear title because one of the heirs was refusing to sell. Even though 3 of the 4 brothers were happy, the 4th of the 4 brothers said, "Fuck you, I don't want it." He didn't tell us that, but he told his brothers that, and his brothers had to tell us that, and then we didn't get to buy the property. So that property is still sitting there. It can't be sold, even though 3 out of the 4 brothers are in agreement. The 4th of the 4 brother, he won't agree at this point. And short of the brothers going to court and battling it out, they're just not going to sell that house. So what will happen? We'll wait. We're real estate investors. Here's what always happens in these situations. Eventually, either myself or some other real estate investor is going to be the person that buys those properties, because that's what happens. When problems come, real estate investors solve them. And there's a problem right now where 3 out of 4 brothers want to sell and 1 out of 4 brothers is holding up the works. But eventually, he'll come to his senses. They'll figure it all out. And then they'll find a real estate investor to come in and buy that disaster of a house and fix it up and put it back on the market so that someone can live there again. And guys, this happens way more often than you could ever imagine. I'm shocked. I've been doing this for a long time. I like to buy the dirty titles, the stuff that has those kind of issues. And in Florida or in Georgia or anywhere on the East Coast of the United States, we've had great success with this. And the truth is, we've had great success doing this on the island of Puerto Rico. It just goes back to, it takes longer, it's more difficult, and so you have to wait and wait. But once you can fix the problems, once you get through the system and you get that house finally, you pry it out of the hands of the 4 brothers, you get them to agree and come to one place and sell, well, the nice thing is that it's always worth it. You can fix those zombie houses up doing the value add real estate investing, and then you're going to have a market to sell them or rent them and make money on the back end. This is an obvious one. If you're buying here and you're not thinking about the weather, well, you're already missing the boat. And that could be the weather is hot. That's why we came here. It got cold in Florida. I had to move south. Humidity, it's a bitch. Mold, it's real on the island of Puerto Rico. Salt air, man. Don't you love the fresh, salty smelling air when you're at the beach? It's great. But when you have things like cars and building materials and even rebar inside of walls, salt air, not your friend, my friend. And then the big one, the boogeyman, hurricanes. Oh my God. Hey, hurricanes are real and they come to the island and they are a pain in the ass and you've got to deal with them. But here's the truth. During the time that I've been on the island of Puerto Rico over the last 8 years, we've had seven times as many hurricanes have hit the state of Florida as have hit the island of Puerto Rico. 7. So I hear all the time, aren't you worried about the hurricanes? And yeah, of course I'm worried about the hurricanes, and I'm going to deal with them when they come, and we're going to have to fix the things that break after the storm leaves the island. But I also have those same worries if I'm in the Panhandle. I also have those same worries certainly in the state of Florida. In fact, one of the main reasons that I showed up on the island of Puerto Rico was because a great big hurricane came. And I know that there's a cycle. There's a 5-year cycle that happens after a big storm comes in. There's the initial devastation, then there's the rebuild. And about 5 years in, the economy is booming and everything has improved. And people have forgotten about the hurricanes. And it's true here, and it's true back in the States too. Here's something else. On the island of Puerto Rico, getting insurance on your properties, it's not as easy as calling Jeff from State Farm. Coverage is limited, if you can get it at all. And policies, they can change. Insurance companies, they go out of business after every big name storm. And flood zones, they matter a lot. So let me tell you about a deal that I'm doing right now in real time in Condado. Condado is an affluent suburb of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I am doing business with a good friend of mine for the very first time here on the island of Puerto Rico. And this guy has done tens of thousands of real estate deals in the States. And every time he does a deal, he gets insurance on his properties. As long as I can remember, I've self-insured. So I've really sat out the difficulties of having insurance on the island of Puerto Rico, but not in this case. In this case, my buddy Dave's hell-bent on us having a builder's risk policy because that's what he's done on every deal that he's ever been involved with. And I get it. So we jumped through the hoops to go get the builder's risk policy. Let me tell you something. A builder's risk policy on the island of Puerto Rico, it's not the same as a builder's risk policy in the state of Florida or anywhere on the mainland. The differences are vast and surprising. The builder's risk plan on the island of Puerto Rico would only cover the renovation budget. So we had a $300,000 renovation budget, and that's what they wanted to insure us for, $300,000. But my buddy Dave is saying, hey, Robbie, I'm going to give you $810,000. I'm not insured on my $810,000. I'm only insured on $300,000. And I'm scratching my head going, yeah, you're right. So what are we going to do about it? So we had to get multiple insurance policies in order to cover the purchase, the value of the property, and the renovations. This isn't something that I've ever seen before. And guys, I've been around the block. I've done a thing or two. I'm always surprised when I learn something new at this point. But insurance, yeah, it's a bitch on the island of Puerto Rico. It's not impossible. We did get it done. But man, there were some hoops we had to jump through. I now remember why I like to self-insure and just sit out all of those problems. Now let's talk about something that's probably the biggest difference of wherever you're coming from in the U.S. to what happens here on the island of Puerto Rico. Financing, yeah, it exists. The banks, they lend money, first mortgage positions, if it's going to be your home, if it's going to be even a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, as long as you're going to live in it, you could probably get a loan from the bank on it. So what I'm trying to say is that financing exists on the island of Puerto Rico, but it's not the mainland lending that you're used to. Banks are super conservative. Appraisals, they can surprise you, but don't be surprised if they come in low. And the paperwork, expect to do it 2 or 3 or 4 times. Yeah, so in a nutshell, expect things to take longer. If you're going to borrow money, expect to document it more. And here's a really big one, maybe my favorite part of doing business on the island of Puerto Rico. We call this relationship island, and the truth is in Puerto Rico, who you know and who you're in business with, that matters. I think it matters more than anything else. That means that you're going to want to be in business with local agents, local contractors, local attorneys. When we came to the island of Puerto Rico, we knew that there were great deals. We could drive around the island and see them. We saw all of the blue tarps because we showed up while the lights were still out after Hurricane Maria. But what we couldn't figure out was the data. What something is actually worth after the repairs. I knew that I could find something that needed work, figure out what it was going to cost to renovate it because I've done it 1,000 times. What I didn't know was how to value the property afterwards. So what we did, and I'll pat myself on the back for this because it was a pretty smart thing, we sought out and partnered with local real estate investors and local realtors. We met 12 of them. We invited them to bring us their deals, and the deals were everywhere when we showed up on the island of Puerto Rico. There were lists miles long. And when these 12 brought us deals, we asked them one simple question. Would you like to put your money where your mouth is? Become a real estate investor with us. Let's partner up. It doesn't matter if you don't have a whole bunch of money. Just put some money in. Just put your time and your effort and a few $1,000s, and we'll help you become a real estate investor, and we'll partner on these things. Guys, 6 of them said yes. 6 of them said no. We did deals with the 6 that said yes, and we didn't do deals with the 6 that said no. And thank the Lord that we did, because we're still doing deals with the 6 people that originally we met on the island. We're still doing deals with them today. Now we've done hundreds of deals, and we've expanded our business consistently through partnerships with locals on the island the entire time that we've been here. It's one of the greatest joys that I have throughout the whole time that I've been a real estate investor. The most fun day is closing day when you hand the keys to someone and you have them take a house that you bought when it was really ugly and you fixed it up and you made it super beautiful. And now you're handing the keys to that house to this person who's becoming a homeowner and going to call this place home, going to raise their family there. That's a joy that I get to experience because I'm a real estate investor. And what I learned when I came to the island, I really love helping other people become real estate investors just as much. So I've helped thousands of people become homeowners over the years. And now my plan and my passion is helping thousands of you become real estate investors. And that's why you subscribe to this YouTube channel. So hey, if you're looking at buying a house on the island of Puerto Rico, and especially if you're coming from the mainland, what I've just told you in this video alone can save you tens of thousands of dollars and months of frustration. Guys, I've made some of these mistakes so that you don't have to. And if you want to understand better how real estate actually works here, whether that's from housing all the way to investing in hotels, then stick around. Subscribe to the channel, because that's what we talk about all the time. We show you what we do, we tell you how we do it, and we'll even explain why.